If you go to bed tonight the same way you always do, you might be quietly speeding up aging in your body without realizing it. Not just in your joints, but in your heart, your brain, your balance, and your independence. That sounds dramatic, I know, but the truth is sleep is not only about how many hours you get, it's also about what your body is doing during those hours. I'm Dr. Matthew Brooks, and I want you to stay with me because what we're about to cover could genuinely change the way you sleep from this point forward. Not because of some trendy sleep hack, but because certain positions place stress on the spine, compress breathing, strain circulation, and worsen nighttime conditions like reflux and sleep apnea. And those problems don't always feel obvious in the moment. They show up later as stiffness, morning headaches, brain fog, blood pressure that won't settle, memory lapses, and falls you can't explain. Here's the part most people miss. Many seniors assume their sleep problems are just age, tossing and turning, waking up sore, waking up tired, waking up at 3 a.m. for no clear reason. But what if it's not only your mattress or your pillow or your bedtime? What if it's the way your body is positioned for 6, 7, 8 hours straight? Scientists have been paying closer attention to sleep posture because it affects breathing, nerve pressure, spinal alignment, and blood flow. Your sleep position can help your body recover, or it can quietly wear it down night after night. It can support your joints, protect your neck, reduce strain on your heart, and help your brain get the oxygen it needs. Or it can do the opposite. So, tonight we're going to walk through the four most damaging sleep positions for adults over 60, and then the four better positions that tend to reduce pain, improve breathing, support memory, and help you wake up feeling steadier, clearer, and more refreshed. Stay with me because one small change, even as simple as where you place a pillow, can make a noticeable difference in how your body feels in the morning. Before we dive in, if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss future videos like this. I focus on simple, practical health changes that protect you as you age. And as we go, if you're finding this useful, leave a quick comment with the number 1 so I know you're with me. Now, let's start with the first of the worst positions. The first worst sleeping position after 60 is sleeping on your stomach, face down. I understand why people do it. It can feel comforting at first, and like the weight of the mattress calms the body, arms tucked under the pillow, head turned to the side, and you drift off. I once worked with a man I'll call Harold, 72, a retired tradesman who told me, "Doc, it's the only way I fall asleep. My back feels like it relaxes." What Harold didn't realize is that this relaxation comes with a cost, especially in an older body. When you sleep face down, your neck is forced into a twisted position for hours. That means muscles and joints in the cervical spine are held in rotation all night long. Over time, this can contribute to chronic stiffness, headaches, dizziness, and that pins and needles feeling in the hands or arms when you wake up. It's not magic. It's nerve pressure and reduced circulation from a position the body was never meant to hold for that long. And it's not just the neck. Stomach sleeping tends to flatten the natural curves of the spine while also putting pressure into the lower back, particularly if your hips sink into the mattress. If you already have arthritis, disc issues, or spinal degeneration, this can amplify inflammation and pain. You may wake up thinking you slept wrong, but really your posture has been stressing the same structures every night. There's also the breathing problem. With your chest pressed into the mattress, your lungs can't expand as freely. The diaphragm doesn't move as smoothly. Breathing becomes shallower. In a younger person, this may not be noticeable. But after 60, shallow breathing at night can mean less oxygen delivery to the brain and heart, which shows up as fatigue, foggy thinking, and even morning blood pressure spikes. So, yes, stomach sleeping may feel cozy, but it is one of the most quietly stressful positions for seniors. It strains the neck, pressures the spine, and limits deep breathing. Now, here's the open loop, because most people respond by saying, "Fine, I'll sleep on my side then." And side sleeping can be excellent, but one common version of it hides its own danger. The second worst position is a tight fetal curl, knees pulled up toward the chest. It feels safe, almost protective, like the body is trying to shield itself. I had a patient I'll call Eleanor, 68, who said, "It's the only way I feel comfortable. I curl up and I can finally fall asleep." But she started waking up with breathlessness, rib tightness, back stiffness, and a fatigue that didn't match your sleep hours. Here's what's happening in that tight curl. When the knees are pulled too close, the torso compresses, and the diaphragm has less room to move. Lung expansion becomes limited. That means you may breathe faster and shallower through the night. And in older lungs that are already less elastic, the difference can be meaningful. People wake with headaches, dry mouth, fatigue, and sometimes a racing heartbeat. Not because something scary happened, but because their body never settled into a steady, restorative breathing rhythm. A tight curl also rounds the spine into a pronounced C shape for hours. Over time, the muscles and connective tissue adapt to that posture. You feel stiffer in the morning. Your posture becomes more stooped, hip flexors tighten, upper back rounds, and balance can worsen. Seniors are already managing a higher fall risk. So any position that encourages the body to shrink inward night after night can quietly work against strength and stability. So the fetal curl is not automatically bad, but tight compressed curling for long hours can restrict breathing and reinforce poor posture patterns. Now, if you're thinking, okay, I'll do what doctors used to recommend. I'll sleep flat on my back. We need to talk because the third worst position is exactly that. Sleeping flat on your back with little or no support. This is often called the soldier position. Straight back, arms by your sides, head barely elevated. For years, people were told it was ideal alignment. But after 60, the reality changes because breathing and airway mechanics change. Let me tell you about a patient I'll call Robert, 74, who slept on his back his entire life. His spouse started noticing loud snoring, pauses in breathing, and sudden gasps. Robert himself just felt exhausted in the morning and didn't understand why. After evaluation, he was found to have significant obstructive sleep apnea. Here's why back sleeping can trigger this. Gravity pulls the tongue and soft tissues backward. The airway narrows. Breathing becomes disrupted. Some people wake up, others don't. But the brain still experiences repeated drops in oxygen and repeated micro stress events over time. Untreated sleep apnea is linked with higher risk of stroke, heart strain, blood pressure issues, and cognitive decline. The danger is that people don't connect it to sleep posture. They think they're just getting older. They don't realize they're stressing the brain and cardiovascular system night after night. Back sleeping can also worsen reflux for many older adults. When the head is level with the stomach, acid can travel upward more easily. That can cause nighttime coughing, throat irritation, hoarseness, and what many people call mystery asthma. So, even if you're not feeling classic heartburn, the reflux can still disrupt sleep quality. So, yes, back sleeping can be healthy for some people, but flat back sleeping without support can be risky, especially if you snore, wake up unrefreshed, have morning headaches, have reflux, or have been told you stop breathing at night. Now, the fourth worst position surprises people because it feels like a solution. The fourth worst position is sleeping in a recliner every night. It often starts innocently. You fall asleep watching television, your back hurts in bed, your hips ache. Reflux feels better upright, so you spend more and more nights in the chair, and eventually the chair becomes your bed. I worked with a woman I'll call Dorothy, 79, who did this for years because it reduced her hip pain. But gradually she noticed swelling in her legs, stiffness that lingered all day, and a slow decline in strength. She thought it was just aging until she learned the posture was contributing to it. In a recliner, the body stays partially folded. Circulation to the legs can be less efficient. Fluid can pool, ankles swell, and in higher risk individuals, clot risk can rise, especially when movement is limited for long periods. The spine never fully decompresses, hips stay flexed, core muscles weaken, and the body loses the natural extension that helps posture and balance. And sleep quality is often lower than people think. You may sleep for hours, but you may not spend as much time in deep restorative stages. You wake up thinking you rested, but your brain and muscles didn't get the full repair cycle they needed. So, if any of these are your current habits, don't panic. You're not broken. You're not doomed. But you do need to reposition because sleep posture is one of those quiet factors that compounds over years. Now, here's the good news. Because this is where part two begins. If those are the four positions that slowly drain the body, what positions protect it? What positions help breathing, reduce pain, improve circulation, support the spine, and help you wake up steadier? Let's move into the four better positions that tend to work best for seniors. The first better position is supported side sleeping with a pillow between the knees. This is one of the simplest changes you can make, and it's one of the most powerful. Side sleeping helps keep airways more open for many people. It can reduce snoring and apnea events, and it often reduces reflux, especially on the left side because of how the stomach sits in the body. But the key for seniors is alignment. When you place a pillow between your knees, you reduce pelvic rotation. That takes pressure off the lower back and hips. You're not twisting the spine all night, you're letting it rest in a more neutral line. I had a patient I'll call Alan, 71, who woke up daily with hip pain and low back tightness. He assumed he needed a new mattress. Instead, we adjusted his position, pillow between the knees, head supported so the neck stayed aligned. And within a couple of weeks, his morning stiffness dropped noticeably. Not because of magic, but because his joints finally stopped being torqued for hours. Now, if side sleeping is hard for you, shoulders hurt, arms go numb, or you can't stay on your side long, there's a second position that works extremely well for many seniors. The second better position is back sleeping with gentle elevation, head and knees slightly raised. This is not the flat soldier position. This is supported. The head and upper torso are elevated enough to reduce reflux and help in breathing, and the knees are slightly elevated to relax the lower back. A small wedge pillow, an adjustable bed, or even carefully stacked supportive pillows can create this angle. Elevation helps keep acid down, supports the airway, and reduces the effort of breathing. Knees elevated reduces lumbar strain. For seniors with back pain, reflux, or mild breathing issues, this can be a game changer. The third better position is what I call open chest back sleeping, often nicknamed the starfish position, but done correctly. This is back sleeping with the arms relaxed outward, palms up, shoulders open, and the chest able to expand easily. Many seniors hold tension in the shoulders and upper spine. This posture can reduce pressure points, reduce shoulder compression, and allow calmer breathing. The key is the pillow. You need a pillow that supports the neck without forcing the chin down toward the chest. When seniors wake with numb hands, shoulder aches, and neck tightness, sometimes it's not only arthritis. It's nighttime nerve compression from cramped posture. Opening the upper body can help. And finally, the fourth, better position. And for many seniors, this becomes the sweet spot. The 45-hour side recline, supported side leaning with a wedge behind the back. This is different from sleeping in a recliner. You're in bed supported by a wedge, so you're not fully flat, not fully upright, and you're slightly on your side. This can reduce reflux, support breathing, reduce spine strain, and relieve pressure on hips and shoulders. Add a pillow between the knees and one to support the head, and you get stability without compression. Now let's bring this home because none of this works if you treat it like trivia. Sleep is not just rest, it's repair. After 60, your body pays closer attention to angles, pressure, oxygen, and inflammation. If you sleep in a position that compresses breathing or twists the spine, you wake up older than you need to. If you sleep supported and aligned, you give your body a better chance to recover. Calmer breathing, better circulation, less pain, and a clearer brain in the morning. So tonight, don't just go to bed. Set yourself up. Choose one change. A pillow between the knees, a gentle incline, a supported side position, and see how your body responds for 2 weeks. Track morning stiffness, energy, headaches, reflux, and how steady you feel when you first stand up. And before we close, I want to hear from you. Which position do you think you're sleeping in right now? Stomach, tight fetal curl, flat back, recliner, or one of the supported options? If this video helped you, subscribe so you don't miss the next one. And if you watched all the way to the end, type "I watched till the end" in the comments. I read those, and it helps me know these videos are reaching the right people.